The Kingdom of Kush was an ancient kingdom in Nubia, centered along the Nile Valley in what is now northern Sudan and southern Egypt. The territory of Nubia was the early cradle of civilization, resulting in several complex societies involved in trade and industry. The city-state of Kerma emerged as the dominant political power between 2450 and 1450 BC, controlling the Nile Valley between the First and Fourth Cataracts, an area the size of Egypt. The Egyptians were the first to identify Kerma as Kush, and over the next few centuries the two civilizations engaged in alternating wars, trade and cultural exchanges. The Kingdom of Kush remained as a major regional power until the 4th century CE, when it weakened and crumbled from internal rebellions amid worsening climatic conditions, and invasions and conquests by the Noba people. The city of Meroe was captured and destroyed by the Kingdom of Aksum, marking the end of the kingdom and its dissolution into the three reigns of Nobatia, Makuria and Alodia. Shortly after this event, the Kingdom of Alodia would regain most of the southern area of the former Meroitic Empire that approached the city of Aksum itself, including parts of the ruling part of Eritrea. Long overshadowed by its more prominent neighbor in Egypt, archaeological discoveries since the late 20th century have revealed Kush to be an advanced civilization in its own right. One brief history. With the disintegration of the New Kingdom around 1070 BC, Kush became an independent kingdom centered on Napata in modern northern Sudan. This more Egyptian Kingdom of Kush emerged, possibly from Kerma, and reclaimed the territory's independence from Egypt. The degree of cultural political continuity between the culture of Kerma and the chronologically successful Kingdom of Kush is difficult to determine. The last reign began to emerge around 1000 BC, 500 years after the end of the Kerma kingdom. The rulers of Kush were considered the guardians of the state religion and were responsible for maintaining the houses of the gods. Some scholars believe that the economy in the Kingdom of Kush was a redistributive system. The state will collect taxes in the form of surplus production and will redistribute it to the people. Others believe that most of the people work on the land and do not need anything from the state and do not contribute to the state. Northern Kush appears to be more productive and richer than the southern region. Analysis of the properties of fossil teeth dating to the Meroitic period at Semna, in northern Nubia near Egypt, found that they exhibited features similar to those of the populations inhabiting the Nile, Horn of Africa and Maghreb. Traits from the Mesolithic and southern Nubians around Meroe suggest closer affinity to other sub-Saharan dental records. It shows a north-south gradient along the Nile. 2. Writing and language. The Meroitic language was spoken in Meroe and Sudan during the Meroitic period, attested to from 300 BC. It became extinct around 400 AD. It is uncertain to which language family the Meroitic languages are related. Kirsty Rowan points out that Meroitic, like the Egyptian language, belongs to the Afro-Asian family. He based this on his inventory of sounds and phonotactics, which he said were similar to Afro-Asiatic languages and different from Nilo-Saharan languages. With only a few words understood by modern scholars, the Meroitic language cannot yet be related to any other known language. For a time, it may also have been used to write the ancient Nubian language of the successor Nubian kingdoms. 3. Technology history. The indigenous people of the Kingdom of Kush developed a type of waterwheel or waterwheel, the sakia, which the Kush gave the name kole. Sakia was developed during the Meroitic period to improve irrigation. The introduction of this machine had a decisive influence on agriculture, especially in Dongola, as it lifted 3 to 8 meters of water with much less labor and time than the shaduf, which was the previous main irrigation device in the kingdom. Shaduf relies on human power, but sakia is driven by buffalo or other animals. The Kerma people, the ancestors of the Kushi people, built bronze furnaces through which they produced objects for everyday use such as razors, mirrors and tweezers. The Kushites developed a form of reservoir, known as the Hafa, during the Meroitic period. 800 ancient and modern Hafas have been registered in the Meroitic city of Butana. The function of Hafa is to capture water during the rainy season for storage, to ensure water is available for several months during the dry season, as well as supply drinking water, irrigating rice fields and livestock water. The Great Hafa, or Great Reservoir, near the Lion Temple at Musawarat es-Sufra is a famous Hafa built by the Kushites. It was built to sustain a short, rainy season. It has a diameter of 250 meters and a depth of 6.3 meters. Four. Military history. During the siege of Hermopolis in the 8th century BC, siege towers were built for the Kushite army led by Pa, to increase the efficiency of Kushite archers and slingers. After leaving Thebes, Pa's first goal was to besiege Ashmuni. He assembled his troops after they had had little success so far, and undertook personal oversight of operations including the erecting of siege towers from which Kushite archers could fire at the city. The initial shelter protecting the miners armed with poles trying to penetrate the mud brick fort made way for the battering rams. Bowmen were the most important component of strength in the Kushite military. Ancient sources indicate that Kushite archers favored one-piece bows that were between 6 and 7 feet long, with such strong tensile strength that many archers used their legs to bend their bows. However, composite bows were also used in their arsenal. The Greek historian Herodotus pointed out that the main bow was constructed of seasoned palm wood, with the arrows made of sticks. Kushite arrows are often poisoned. Elephants were sometimes used in warfare during the Meroitic period, as seen in the war against Rome around 20 BC. History of architecture. During the Bronze Age, the Nubian ancestors of the Kingdom of Kush built spioi. A spioi is a temple or tomb cut into a rock face between 3700 and 3250 BC. This greatly influenced the architecture of the New Kingdom of Egypt. The tomb monument is one of the better-known expressions of Kushite architecture. Pa is thought to have built the first true pyramid at El Kuru. The pyramids are archetypal tomb monuments of the Kushite royal family, and were found at El Kuru, Nuri, Jebel Barkal, and Meroe. The Kushite pyramids were smaller with steeper sides than the northern Egyptian pyramids. The Kushites are thought to have copied the pyramids of the New Kingdom elite, as opposed to the pharaohs of the Old and Middle Kingdoms. Kushite housing consists mostly of circular wooden huts with a few apartment houses with some two-bedroom apartments. Apartment houses likely accommodate large families. The Kushis built a cobblestoned road at Jebel Barkal. It is thought to have built a pier, harbor on the Nile, and many wells. That's 5 brief history of Kush Kingdom, which is quoted from wikipedia.com. Hope it is useful. Thank you.